Honourable colleagues, we have just received the data from His Excellency the President and regarding the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023. It's dated 25th April 2023, addressed to the Right Honourable Anita Among, Speaker, Parliament of Uganda, Kampala. The Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023. The above subject matter refers. I have received the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023 for assent. Some of the provisions of the bill need to be reconsidered and reviewed by Parliament in the following areas. 1. Distinguishing between being a homosexual and actually engaging in acts of homosexuality. It is important to recognize that the suspicion, allegation, or belief of some individuals being homosexuals has been with our society for quite some time. Indeed, the debate has always been whether the sexuality of these individuals is deviant conduct or otherwise. What is clear is that our society does not accept homosexual conduct or actions. Therefore, the proposed law should be clear so that what is sought to be criminalized is not the state of one having a deviant proclivity, but rather the actions of one acting on that deviance or indeed promoting the same in whatever way. To this end, the bill should be reviewed and include a provision that clearly states, especially under Section 2 and Section 3, that for avoidance of doubt, a person who is believed or alleged or suspected of being a homosexual who has not committed a sexual act with another person of the same sex does not commit an offense under those sections. This distinction must be clearly articulated in the law. Clauses 9(1), in my view, is unnecessary, as what is provided for under 9(2) is more comprehensive and passes the constitutional test, since it provides for the actual knowledge of the person who is responsible for the premises. Clause 9(1) should therefore be deleted from the bill. 3. Clause 14. Duty to report acts of homosexuality. Clause 14, as currently drafted, may present constitutional challenges. Read together with Clause 15, it appears to create unnecessary contradictions and duties which will pose a challenge to implement. While Clause 14 imposes a duty of one to report suspected acts of homosexuality, the bill under Clause 15 makes it an offense for a person to make false sexual allegations. This contradiction could present challenges in the implementation of the bill and could be a source of conflict in society. I therefore suggest that Clause 14 be reviewed with the aim of removing it altogether or restricting it to apply to the protection of children and vulnerable persons as provided under Article 17(1)(c) of the Constitution. 4. Rehabilitation of homosexuals. Whereas I'm of the view that the bill should include a provision that facilitates those who have been previously involved in acts of homosexuality to present themselves to the relevant heads or other authorities for purposes of seeking help in cases where their previous involvement in acts of homosexuality was not the aggravated kind and should therefore not be punished. I'm advised that this being a private member's bill, my proposal could offend Article 93 of the Constitution. This will be subsequently attended to. In view of the above concerns, I return the bill to Parliament for reconsideration under Article 91 of the Constitution. M7n, President of the Republic of Uganda. So I refer I hereby refer the bill to the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs to expeditiously handle, because these are issues which are not that many. Ugandans are highly waiting for this bill.
Mr. Speaker, President M7n was a Speaker of Parliament. And for that period, I think he learned to be Speaker of how things are done in Parliament. The procedural issue I am raising you've just read a letter referring the anti-homosexuality legislation back to Parliament. But the former Speaker of Parliament, M7n, yesterday met the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. I am a member of that committee. You have now referred the same bill to the same committee. When the former speaker, I don't know whether he still thinks when you are a former speaker, you still continue. He has also referred the same bill to the committee. He met them yesterday. Me, I didn't go. So the procedural issue I am raising, Mr. Speaker, regards the interaction of committees with the President, with ministers. In the last Parliament, the chairperson of the Committee on Natural Resources then wrote to the President pleading that he must not close the Rural Electrification Agency. And the Speaker came here and said, please, you should never interact with the President without the authority of the Speaker of Parliament. And I thought that ruling remains. So I want to find out, Mr. Speaker, under which was the former Speaker, Mr. M7n, meeting a committee of Parliament on a bill he has not officially referred to Parliament?
Thank you. Now, colleagues, number one, I don't have any formal communication regarding a meeting between the President and some people. Yes, I don't have a formal communication. Number two, the President can consult anyone. And I think that's why Honorable Ssemujju didn't go, because he didn't want to be consulted. Okay? So, but what I will do, I will ask the committee chairperson under what arrangement, whether it was under their NRM arrangement, whether, because you see, these committee people like the ones of NRM are deployed by the SEC, which SEC is chaired by the President. So, and can be consulting his people. So I don't know whether Ssemujju was about to be also conscripted into the same, and he came to know and he refused. Okay. Yeah, so these are informal consultations. For us here, we deal with things which are formal. Now, the ruling of the former speaker on that issue, it was because there was a formal document she could refer to. Now, me, I don't have anything formal I can refer to make a clear ruling on the matter. My hands are tied. So, so you people, Chief Whip, you should always also call us, maybe. We go with you if you attended. But colleagues, let's go on the business, okay?
Thank you very much. The procedural matter I'm raising, Honorable Speaker, is that would the NTP procedural right that you give the time frame to the Committee of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs on the time they have to report back to the House, since this is a very contentious issue across the country?
Thank you. I need the committee to report back on Wednesday, and colleagues, on Wednesday we shall process the bill as returned so that we pass it and we finish our part. Thank you. Honorable Amos, procedure.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, issues about any bill that we processed in this House, sometimes people challenge it so deeply. And because of that, we need to be very strict to follow the procedures that govern it. You have just stated that next week, the committee would be required to report back. But in our procedures, 148, clause 2, they are given within 2 weeks. If it is so within 2 weeks, we have to be strict and make it within 2 weeks, so that nobody should. Let me finish. It is not you speaking.
Honorable, you're protected.
Thank you so much. If it is calculated and it is within 2 weeks, because we need to be very careful so that nobody should find a room in any way to say that we have flooded our procedures in this house. It is very true that even though we are denying facts, but this is in all public media, that at least sections of some member of parliament, including the mover of the bill, also went and had a meeting somewhere in the same thing that we are talking about.
Okay.
Therefore, in order for us to keep the integrity so that we move as one body and consider this anti-homosexuality bill, we have to follow our rules. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable, really, just for your reassurance, you have made it very clear within 2 weeks. Meaning, even if I said the report tomorrow, it would have been within 2 weeks. The problem is if we go outside beyond 2 weeks. Okay? So to Wednesday will be within 2 weeks, Honorable. I want to give you that comfort. So you better be here and you do the necessary. And we shall use the same method we used. We shall do roll call. We shall do roll call on all of you, on each one, and to know who will be here. So that issues of quorum and all that. So your constituents will be watching. Honorable Kayemba.
Thank you, sir. Right Honorable Speaker. I stand under our rules of procedure, Rule 42. 3 weeks back, the Speaker asked the Minister for Sports, Education and Sports about the status of Nambole Stadium when our team had played away in Egypt for our home game. The Minister, standing here, promised the country that the next game, which will be on 12th June, will be played in Nambole. Yesterday, we saw communication that Uganda is going now to host in Cameroon. Imagine. So, Right Honorable Speaker, are we proceeding well? When the Minister of Sports can stand in this house and lie the country?
Thank you. Now, Honorable, before you conclude, you see, if you want me to interpret the procedure rule applies to a member who is on the floor. Okay? So, I don't know, from your interpretation, he might be on the floor, but you're raising a valid question in terms of what he promised the country. Honorable, in 1 minute, you think, as he's coming, colleagues in the public gallery this afternoon, we have students and teachers of Daffodils Education Center from Kampala Central, Kampala District, represented by Honorable Mamadi Sereko and Honorable Shamim Marende. They've come to observe proceedings of this house. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you. You look so smart and beautiful, and you know. Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues. First of all, allow me to begin by thanking the Shadow Minister of Sports for the issue he has raised. Right Honorable Speaker, it's true I made a statement here, and it's not the first, nor will it be the last. I want to confirm. As of today, it is true Uganda Cranes, the national team, will not play a home game on 12th June in Nambole because the project of the renovation of Nambole will not be in order to host that game in Nambole. So, Mr. Speaker, I have made this to the country, and I want to repeat it here, that I personally take responsibility for any delays which have occurred on the renovation of Nambole for purposes of Uganda Cranes playing at home. However, the government of Uganda will facilitate, like it has always done, all national teams, including Uganda Cranes, to host its game in the country where the federation has thought it fit, not the government. I thank you. And for the record, I want to guarantee, Mr. Speaker, protect me from honorable Ssemujju.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by the Shadow Minister for Sports is the issue of lying. And it doesn't matter how confident with which you lie and how many times you seek to lie again. The issue is that a minister here in this government stood here, lied to Parliament, lied to the country that our facility is now available. Because a home game does not mean only players. A home game means a home crowd to lift the spirit of players, and that's why almost all the games played at home here we are winning. We are now losing because we are refugees in other countries. Is the minister in order, Mr. Speaker? Not to apologize to Parliament and to the country, and to continue with a broad smile as if he's speaking about something very good.
Thank you.
That his government will sponsor 25 players, and that this government will make the national team, the Ukraine, a refugee team with no home, with no country, that will be wandering and loitering around the continent looking for a facility. Is in order, Mr. Speaker?
Now, honorable colleagues, relying on the record of Parliament here would be really criminal. And it would mean that you had an intention. Now, how I understood the minister is that he projected that with the efforts they are putting in and the support they are all getting, by the next game, we should be. Sometimes we do projections, we get it right, sometimes we fail to achieve. Okay, so failing to achieve, to hit the target, Honorable Minister, because I have seen him there, really, I follow him on Twitter. He has been in number all the time updating the nation and all that. But Honorable colleague, just tell colleagues, sorry, your projection didn't work well, but you're working hard to sort out the matter.
Mr. Speaker, of course, my colleagues don't want me to smile, and I don't know what I should do. That is my
They want you to look sad.
Maybe they want me
So
to
can
look
you
sad.
look sad so that you satisfy your colleagues?
Unfortunately, maybe I should blame my God or my mother, but that's not for here. However, I don't Speaker. First of all, I want to put it on record. I'm at pain. First of all, as a Minister of Sports. Number two, I have personally taken responsibility, apologizing to you and the country. I have made it public. Secondly, like you have said, I had a meeting with my technical team, and we looked at all possible ways of having that game played here at home. But Mr. Speaker, there are certain details in line with why this has not happened, which is also within the procurement laws of this country, which none of us wanted to break it. So for that matter, I want to say, we continue with our project, and the project is within the timeline of the contract. Because the timeline of the contract, that contract is meant to expire in July, August. So for that matter, colleagues, the UPDF, the Minister of Works, which is a consultant, and us, the Minister of Education and Sport, which is a client, are all working together to ensure that we complete our stadium for the further coming games in Uganda. For this one, I want to say this, that fellow countrymen and women, I personally want to take that responsibility. I thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, on your next visit, you invite your shadow minister. You know, it feels good.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes, invite your shadow minister.
I want to request that first of all, invite the area member of parliament,
Yes.
who is my very good friend, Honorable Ssemujju. But I also want to ask the Honorable Minister of State for Works, who is the consultant of the project. He wants to give additional information. Mr. Speaker, permit me to invite him to say a word.
Please, Honorable Chweru.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Peter Ogwang for the humility. The reality is that by some coincidence, those of us who are driving this process, we happen to come from the same region, so there might be some questions. Why Chweru and Ogwang? Ogwang is the client, Minister of Education and Sports. Chweru is in charge of works by some good coincidence. I am here, Mr. Speaker, to confirm that Peter Ogwang here supervises us, much as my team gives technical support. He summons me, he summons Honorable both regularly to Nambole to keep abreast of what is happening in Nambole. My ministry, for some reason, the technical people found that there were some things that were not proper. And that's why we said we must go for quality, we must not hurry anything. So we want to deliver Nambole that is internationally acceptable. That's what we are doing.
Thank you. It seems the area MP is, what do you see there?
I
What
have
is
given support to Nambole since we went there with the Honorable Bua to commence the renovation. But the clarification I want the government to give, of all countries, why do you choose Cameroon? And then for birthday parties of the president's son, you go to the neighbors. Why don't you go to Rwanda and pray, for example, from there?
First of all, Mr. Speaker, sir, unfortunately, my good friend, Mr. Speaker, can I be protected?
Please, please. And inform us if you brought some cake for Honorable Ssemujju, if there was
Maybe
a
for
party.
the record, since Honorable Ssemujju likes talking about my very good friend, General Moses Kainerugaba, for some of us who love him, maybe we should organize a party within the precincts of Parliament here for the birthday.
No, you can go to his constituency.
So, for purposes of the record, however, let me answer the question. The decision to determine where the game is to be played is not the responsibility of government. It's the responsibility of the federation. An attempt by us as government to force the federation to determine becomes interference. As government, we fund the national team. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleague, this is closed. Okay? Colleagues, we have an order paper. You see, at the end of the day, they would ask how many items did we cover on the order paper. Okay, so let's go back to our order paper. Now, concluding with my communication, colleagues, we have the Parliamentary HIV/AIDS Awareness Week going on. So I would just request the chair, just 2 minutes, because it's not a statement, it's my communication.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.